Well, hello, nerds. Welcome to yet another reaction episode. We are going to be talking about The Garden's new song. I got to open up the window again. What is it called? Freight Yard. So The Garden is a very interesting little group. I'm going to open up their wiki just because, yeah, I didn't do that before I started filming, and so now I'm just going to waste your time. The Garden is a really interesting group. These two are brothers. They are models, I think, still. I know they at least started their careers as models, and then they both were musically inclined. And they started doing music together. And let's see if the page will ever load. I apologize. All right, so The Garden, American experimental rock band from Orange County, California, formed in 2011 by twin brothers Wyatt and Fletcher Shears. Released their debut album, The Life and Times of a Paperclip, in 2013, with several smaller releases following. 2015, group released their second studio album, Ha Ha, along with lead single All Smiles Over Here, to critical acclaim. After being signed to Epitaph Records, they released their third album, Mirror Might Steal Your Charm, in March 2018. The fourth album, Kiss My Super Bowl Ring, was released in 2020. The brothers have toured across US, Europe, UK, China, Japan, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Mexico, and in 2019 they appeared at Coachella. So that is the synopsis according to Wikipedia. But again, they are models. The Fletcher or Wyatt and Fletcher are models. That's just hilarious to me. Very weird. We've done one reaction to these guys before. This is a band that I think I would really like to see live at some point. Because there's a live video that they posted during lockdowns, and it's just incredibly interesting because it's just the two of them, and it's such a huge sound that I want to see it, to see how they actually do it, and so I can believe my lying eyes. I guess that's the history of the band and my history with the band. So we forgot to do this. Well, hello there, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for this reaction video. We have a couple of things to get out of the way before we can get back to said video. First and foremost, I do reactions as more of a initial analysis. So we're going to be stopping this. We're going to be talking over certain things. We're going to be replaying sections. We're going to be doing a lot of things that are not conducive to somebody who just wants to watch the original content. If you would rather watch the original content uninterrupted, then please go do that. I definitely would recommend that before you join me here on this reaction and analysis. Beyond that, I have to get my qualifications out of the way. I have been training in music since I was a little kid, which means approximately 30 years. I have been a professional musician and studio producer for about 20 of those 30 years. I have also been making, directing, and editing music videos and YouTube content for over a decade at this point. So I have a base of knowledge that lends itself to adding something constructive to this conversation. And that is exactly what this is. This is a conversation. This is my interpretation of what we are about to react to and analyze. If you have a different interpretation, that's what the comment section is for. Let's have a conversation about this thing, about why it may or may not be the greatest thing ever, whatever it is. I welcome the comments. I do request, though, that you try and be constructive with your criticism, or you at least have some sort of knowledge base to work from, because gotcha moments are not going to work in this comment section. I do have a pretty strong knowledge base and a pretty strong opinion most of the time. So, all of that being said, thank you very much for joining me right now, and let's get back to your regularly scheduled reaction video. All right, so yeah, let's get into expectations now. What do I expect out of this? I expect it to be a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Most of their stuff is in all of the right ways, though. Most of their stuff is really weird, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. Just all of the goofy things that they do that aren't necessarily goofy. Might not be the best word. All of the different things that they do. Um, I really have no other expectations besides that. I expect there to be some sort of strangely catchy hook, and beyond that, just very interestingly weird. So yeah, let's just get right into the thing and the stuff. Window am I opening? That one. All right, so make it big. Oh, also, this is not a music video. I thought it was, but it is not. This, I think, is the only one we're doing that is not an actual music video, just the song itself. So we won't be talking about any video production stuff, but here we go.
Way down underneath the state line, I make deals with the farmer and a freight yacht. I said a freight yacht, I'm not afraid of being the one with the X-Cup, 'cause I'm just like everybody else. I dip my head in the sink and I tighten my belt. Way down underneath the state line, I make deals with the farmer and a freight yacht.
This almost has Peter, Bjorn, and John kind of Peter, is that right? Peter Bjorn, I think that's it. Kind of vibes to it in the vocal delivery. The that song, very reminiscent, not the same, obviously, very different melody, but like similar vocal delivery. So very interesting. I really dig the tone on that bass. I honestly probably would have brought the mids up just a little bit more, but the overdrive is real nice.
I said a freight yacht, I'm not afraid of being the one with the X-Cup, 'cause I'm just like everybody else. I'll leave my door closed shut in case you come trying to kick it down.
So what are we listening to here? Because we, like I said, it's just the two brothers, right? So what are we listening to here? We have bass line, obviously, and then drums, which it sounds like the drums started at the very beginning of the song. Let's see, we are at 45 seconds, so we'll go back to 45 seconds. So let's start at the very beginning. The very beginning of the song sounds like a live kit, and then there's a point where it sounds like it switches over to a drum machine, so that they can presumably do other things to thicken up the sound, like additional vocals and keyboards and so on and so forth. So listen to this. That's a live drum right there. That, you can hear it in the snare the most. That is a drum machine. So let's do that one more time. Live drum starts. And then we got a drum machine right now. I mean, kudos to the programming on the machine, because it sounds pretty good, but there's, I mean, I don't think they wanted it to sound like a real drum kit, because there are ways to do that, but it sounds good. It's not distractingly fake. So, but necessity for their sound. We're going back to where we were, and we're going to continue on. There's that. All right, so what we very likely have now is a loop of some sort. Maybe even two different loops. And that vocal, there's now some chorus added to it to make it a little bit bigger. Sounds like just chorus. Doesn't really sound like they added any reverb or anything to it, but just enough to make it big and kick in when everything kicked in right around the 40-second mark. So the drums are a loop. The bass is now a loop, because the guitar is doing a solo of sorts, and potentially the keyboards and the effects that are coming from the keyboards are also a loop. This is just not the way my brain functions when I write music, so it's so cool to listen to other people's process. Maybe it wasn't. Oh yeah, that's guitar. So we have two different, it sounds like potentially two different bass parts there, but that's still the looped bass. For a second I lost it in my ear, but Yeah, still the loop bass. I just love the really cheap Yamaha special effects. Like one of the first songs I ever heard of theirs, they used, I'm assuming, the same Yamaha keyboard, and the was like just the thing that was oddly catchy because it never will leave my head now. I really dig the vocal layering here. I think these guys are really something special.
Underneath the state line, I make deals with the farmer and a freight yacht. I said a freight yacht, I'm not afraid of being the one with the ace card, 'cause I'm just like everybody else. I dip my head in the sink and I tighten my belt. Way down underneath the state line, I make
The other thing that always strikes me when I listen to a group that has a drum machine for a drummer is like that just seems so scary to me because a live drummer is kind of a crutch for myself. I without a live drummer to feed back and forth with, like I feel like I would be living inside my head a little bit too much and I get lost or I drop notes or whatever. So always respectable when that is the case as well, because that's something that I don't think I've never actually tried, but I don't think I would be able to do that to any measurable success, at least to start like they do.
deals with the farmer and a freight yacht. I said a freight yacht, I'm not afraid of being the one with the ace card, 'cause I'm just like everybody else. I'll leave my door closed shut in case you come trying to kick it down.
That's it. That's it. Always with the short. Always with the short. All right. So that down, and then we got to cut back to this camera. Whee! So that is The Garden's new track. It's a month old at this point. It's significantly easier for me to avoid garden music when I'm trying to do reactions to it because they just don't get played on the channels that I frequent. So they honestly, I don't know of anywhere that they really get much radio play at all. So if you know a channel, say on Sirius XM or other places that plays The Garden, I know you could find them easily on Spotify and stuff like that because that is the purpose of that kind of streaming platform. But I don't do the Spotify as much. So yeah, very interesting. I really dig these guys. It's so out of my regular wheelhouse of things to listen to. It's great to cleanse the palate, if you will. But it's just I really like these guys. I really hope that one day I can see them live because that is such an intriguing concept to me. But that's where we're going to call this reaction video. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining me. There's other reaction videos on the channel. We're going to be doing more throughout the course of the next couple of weeks because I am on vacation. So I'm doing a batch of these to slowly trickle out while I'm gone. That being said, I appreciate your faces, nerds. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here. And don't forget to, thumbs up and subscribe and stuff.